Yeah, yes, please. I thought it was. Oh, all right. I guess it stopped.
My phone's back there. If you want to use yours.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah, I'll do that.
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Well, they're just gonna be commercials, but
We can get someone else.
I thought Fury's was connected.
I don't know where they went.
I'll ask around.
Okay.
Welcome back, roller derby fans. Captain Motorboater, aka Bud, in case you aren't aware of me and the many names that I go by. Mortal Wombat,
Morty,
Morty, the Mort.
the Mort. And let the wild rumpus begin. There goes Peach Clobber for Rocky Mountain off the jam line.
We're happy to have everybody back. We've got to make some adjustments to the video, and hopefully it has improved the viewing experience at the cost of seeing our chat at the moment. But we'll get that worked out. Production's fun. Live event production's even more fun. We're just happy to be able to bring you this contest between Rocky Mountain and Wasatch on a lovely Saturday afternoon.
Oh, and we got Abena giving Bip the beans after she took that star pass. You can tell everyone had a snack. We're all full of vim and vigor again.
Peach Clobber is being locked down by this four wall, but in a classic situation, one of those blockers gets removed for a forearm penalty, while a recycle on the inside. So one less blocker for Clobber to deal with, gets that 4 points on the board. Bip squirts out of the back of the pack for 4 points as well. 8 on the jam so far for Rocky Mountain. Really pouring on that lead coming out of the intermission.
And a nice catch by Hannah Smash Tana, and Peach goes ahead and threads that.
Clobber with a blocker is lava. Shoulder, don't touch me. Bend to get through on that 16-point jam.
And we have 2 Rocky blockers in the seat of honor there in the sun patch. Daisy Danger and Oive Maria heading out there to be Rocky's 2 blockers on the floor.
Glow job, 999 in white. Pretty successful in her first couple jams. Initially, able to get through. Great power, great straightforward in line, hard to contain style of jamming. More of a spearhead, if you will, just crushing right through. And this is where the other jammers have an advantage, is in the speed scenario.
And some
Interesting strategies.
Say some interesting strategy being delivered by James Bond over on the Rocky bench.
Three to nothing was a jam for Wasatch. That'll make it 145-69 as we are on the third jam now of period number 2. Number 1 in black, Pink Flamingo. Pretty familiar to see towing the jam line. Number 93, Devil's Ivy.
Going up against Hannah Smash Tana and Abena.
Bip with a force out on Pink. Gets that recycle all the way back behind the jam line.
And here comes the rest of our Rocky friends coming into the pack. And a beautiful pass to Zoom Bayou. Well played strategy by the jammer. Here comes Zoom coming around the corner with that pivot cap on.
Abena with a really good block and slowing down what the heck was going on.
That's
with
what
the jammer.
she does.
She was just cruising around. Looked like she was making a slow roll to the penalty box, but nope. Just
moseying.
Taking in the mosey time.
Abena sports casual at all times, unbothered, in her lane.
That also put that last whistle situation with that block from Abena put Devil's Ivy in the penalty box. So this is a power start for Pink Flamingo. Every derby announcer that has ever called her has called her Pink Flamingo for the first 3 or 4 times they say her name until they read.
Uh-oh, speaking of which, our friend has just gone to the box, making this a power jam on the Wasatch side. Here.
So we did a jammer do-si-do. Pink Flamingo went in. Devil's Ivy able to get out, and now is the lead jammer.
And Pink trying to attempt a star pass to Oive Maria.
Oh, wait, the arm went down, so maybe not lead jammer. I think the jam ref may have signaled that incorrectly. I was curious. Getting lead jammer coming out of the box was the thing, but we got that worked out. Oh wait, no, and a call off.
They did.
Okay. Nobody seems to be any less worried about how that worked out, so we're just going to let it flow.
One of those moments of sublime confusion on the track where you go, who are we and what are we doing? And we got both jammers fighting off the jam line. Little jammer on jammer violence. Oh, and Fee almost makes it on the inside there.
We do have a lovely empty penalty box.
Lovely empty penalty box and kind of a cross breeze, bud. What more could you ask for?
I'm telling you. And an exciting derby contest. While the score doesn't seem very tight right now, throughout the first period, it was really touch and go from everybody's perspective. And then a couple of mistakes towards the end of the intermission and coming out of the intermission has allowed Rocky Mountain to really stretch the lead.
And Abena
Grapple
doing
once
what she
again
does.
in a position to continue to add points.
Ooh, Fee's gonna jump and call it.
Tough landing, but good nonetheless.
And we're hoping that Fee did not dead leg herself on that landing.
On the jam line, 7-7-3-4 in white. That's Eve Hell.
Against Peach Clobber, who has a beautiful assist by Daisy Danger and sneaks through on the outside there.
In the blink of an eye around the track and already in a scoring position, Clobber finds room in the inside. Looks like all the skates stayed in bounds until they didn't.
Oh,
Somebody called a cut, but I don't.
how far
Was it the
back?
jam ref?
Yeah.
So it could have been OPR. Got a good view. Definitely, skates were definitely close. So this will most likely draw a official review when we conclude this jam.
I believe
But for
so.
now, Wasatch's got to worry about what they got to do, and that's put points on the board. Take advantage of this power jam.
We got 4-on-3 power jam too, so can they make some good use of this time and run some offense? We got Salts in the back going to play some O for the Rocky Jammer.
Big block by Witch Slapped, forcing Clobber around, but
Some
Clobber got the revenge with that move.
Yeah, she did. Peach's mom is watching right now, and I know she's so proud of her little Valkyrie. She's in fine form today.
Star pass now. Number 22, off the rails, jammer on record for the Midnight Terror. Peach threw 4 more points on the board. Off the rails, 4 points on the board for Wasatch.
Good tenacity on that rail.
He's trying to go aerial on the inside.
Ooh, and Rails getting jammed up in that entire black and red wall. Very nice work by both teams.
Timeout, White. It's like the coaching staff for Rocky Mountain deliberating and have decided they're not going to sweat that track clip. So I think they also think it was legit.
Seeing things we don't see.
So team timeout by Wasatch. Let's talk about some awesome things like sponsors. If you're interested in running a vendor booth at any of our bouts, including the next one, check out online at RockyMountainRollerDerby.org. Come peddle your wares, sell your things, services and otherwise. Make some money. And of course, we're always looking for volunteers, including but not limited to, trained medics and bartenders. I know those don't sound like the combination you would expect to have, but if the bartender's doing a great job, having trained medics on staff during a bout is a good idea. Forget what's going on in this violent car crash of a game that we're watching.
And if we have bad medics, then dang, we really want good bartenders, don't we? Get some of that cowboy medicine in the dome.
Into that every once in a while.
Speaking of which, our bar is sponsored by Ratio, Room for Friends, and Sobo Liquors.
We can see your chats again, friends, by the way. So if you're out there in roller derby land watching what we're doing here, enjoying a Saturday afternoon on the second day of summer, we'll chat with you. Or at least respond to your chats if you put them in there. Sweet Cyanide, lead jammer for Rocky Mountain Roller Derby.
And Devil's Ivy getting some static from Zoom, Hannah Smash Tana, and Slim Skatey.
That is pure lockdown right there. Hips on either side, pinching in. The pocket is perfect. Devil's Ivy, though, nice slip around. Hannah got through the hips to get initial pass done. Sweet Cyanide already in scoring position once again on this jam, already with 4.
And she's going to give a little tap, tap, tap it in and call that jam.
Hand up in the sky, 1 point. So a 5-point jam for Rocky Mountain. 0 for Wasatch. 168 to 84. Official timeout. Do you want to skate, but you're not sure about the full contact part? Or you just want to help support this wonderful community with wonderful people like me and Juan? We're always looking for help. And whether it's volunteering, on and off skates, officiating, working behind the scenes, helping keeping things running, we need your support. So come hang out with us. Reach out to RockyMountainRollerDerby.org and give your deets. Show your level of interest and come be a part of fun awesomeness.
Or, if you can't afford therapy and are interested in trying roller derby, Rocky Mountain Roller Derby can teach you. All skill levels are welcome, from newbies in our Pebbles program up to returning and veteran players looking to join an awesome community.
What got you into roller derby, Morty?
I quit drinking, bud. I needed something to do with the crazy energy.
Nice.
And oddly enough, it helped a lot.
There's a path for that you have helped blaze.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about this community is there's a lot of people who've sort of followed in that, even though we are kind of known for that party-hardy lifestyle.
Roller derby is a party.
Roller derby is a party. And you can't really go to practice very well if you're hungover.
Nope.
Oh, look at that beautiful wall there in the back. Got some 4-wall action happening. And
Fiona.
Yep.
Having to adjust the elbow pads and still got through without committing a penalty. So
Oh, we have a star pass on Wasatch. Knuckles has given up the Sneech hat to Booty Queen, who's not even going to get it on her head before Fee calls the jam.
couldn't even get the helmet cover on before the whistle got blown. Nice work by Fiona. Another shutout jam, which when you're trying to continue to build on a lead that you've already established, stacking up shutout jams is the best recipe. Because you're murdering clock and they're just not able to put a single point on the board. Pink Flame and Go on the jam line for Rocky Mountain.
Against the diminutive but mighty Fruit Smacks, who is stuck behind Abena and Skady. Chai's doing a great job bridging. That Wasatch line is doing a good job holding Pink.
Lead jammer, Pink Flame and Go. Fruit Smacks.
Some beautiful work by Slim Skady, attorney at law. If you're ever curious about your Derby community, we've got teachers, lawyers, HR people, therapists.
And habitual point scorers.
And
like Pink Flame
habitual
and Go.
point scorers. We actually have quite a few attorneys on Rocky.
Eight points on the jam so far for Pink.
Oh, and Skady just eating up that defense. Forcing a star pass.
Off the rails, now the jammer on record for Wasatch. Pink, another 4 points. Gets the instruction from the bench to keep this jam rolling. Another 50 seconds. I like this idea, especially because once one of the main blockers, the pivot for this line, is now going to have to spend a whole lot of energy on this jam position. And when you're already up 12-4 in the jam, let it happen. Drain the battery.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes the next two jams even better. Really smart decisions.
So speaking of that strategy, for the folks at home who are new to this sport, if you watch the jammers closely, they will signal how they want the blockers to help them as they approach the pack.
Three more points on the board, bringing the total for Rocky Mountain. I believe it's going to be 17, 15? 15-point jam is what we're calling?
I believe so.
Versus 7 for Wasatch. 184-91, coming up on 15 minutes. Left to go in the period.
With no pack, got to get those ladies together. Devil's Ivy stuck on the back of auto bondage.
Sweet Cyanide trying to dissect the pack up front, but not enough room to get anything done. Ivy had lots of room on the outside. Got that lead jammer locked up.
And Sai still trying to tiptoe through the tulips up there while Ivy comes around for her second pass.
Beauty Queen working back and forth on that one-on-one.
And here comes that Rocky Wall trying to give their friend a hand.
Beauty Queen in a position to finally have to let Cyanide go, but while that's happening, Wasatch able to get some points registered. And a call-off.
No points for black and
No
red.
points for black and red. Flipping the script, as they say.
Mm-hmm. There goes Otto in the orange helmet. If you need any bug and bird facts, please go see Otto. She is a professional.
Penalty box empty.
Got a little dance happening from Keach Clobber up on the line.
Number 25 in white, Knuckles jamming for the Midnight Terror.
Ooh, some nice hold by Knuckles there.
Knuckles able to get to the inside.
Slim Skady just out there eating everybody's
Lead
lunch.
jammer, but then gets passed by Peach Clobber.
And we're going to call it. Some really nice work from all of the teams that we've seen today, and we always appreciate when our friends drive to come up and see us.
I'm impressed with the cleanliness of this game. The box has been virtually empty for a lot of this contest. And, if I had penalty stats to show you, I would, and you all at home would be looking at it the same way I am, which is like, holy mackerel, this has been clean.
Oh, look at this. We have a timeout from James Bond.
want to thank, and a shout out, since we've talked about volunteers, for you folks that are at home that might want to come volunteer. Let's talk about the people that actually are, and the ones that are crushing it, and letting today happen. Shout out, we introduced all our skating and non-skating officials for this game, but there's a whole other crew of them doing other games too, and they need to get all the love and respect that they can get from us. So I want to share that with you. I want to thank all the announcing and production folks that are helping you guys get to see this at home, and the ones that get to hear this in venue. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to Iron Lung, the announcer that is keeping all of us in line, and Tchaikovsky, who's skating and announcing because she doesn't like time off or relax. That's not her vibe.
Skating and announcing and doing bout production and doing streaming. Ooh, this will be a fun matchup. We got Fee up against Glow.
Glow looks like she wants to use.
That's a
Fiona
bold
as a
move, giving
blocker.
Glow some headspace.
Yeah.
I do not think I would want to give them momentum.
Yeah. One Wasatch blocker to the box.
Ooh, a
There are
big
penalties being
pile
called all
up.
over at the Apex. I'm just not seeing who's getting them.
Daisy Danger. Oh, and we got Oi all up in Glow's business. With Salts coming up to the top.
4-on-4 skating action.
Glow successfully fighting for her life through that pack.
Glow with the initial pass is going to force the call off by Fiona. Official review is the hand signal from the coaching staff of Rocky Mountain 5280 Fight Club. Doesn't believe that they got a fair shake on that last jam in some way, shape, or form. Decided to find out what they didn't like.
See, we shouldn't have said anything about the penalties, bud.
I believe in the announcer jinx, I do, and I'm not going to lie when I say I'll use it to my advantage. When I want more things to talk about, I'll talk about how things aren't happening, and then hopefully the jinx works. Then they start to happen, gives me something to talk about.
Can you work on the raining money thing?
Oh,
Or does it only work with
I
Derby-related
think it's
things?
just things that can happen in Derby.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if something hasn't happened in this game that you're looking forward to, like, I haven't seen a whip. I haven't seen a jammer get a decent whip,
Uh-huh.
or any attempt at a whip.
Let's
It's
do
not-
a Pegasus. I want to see a Pegasus,
Okay,
bud.
so we got a call for a Pegasus, and we got a call for a whip. Let's see if any of those materialize with our announcer
Their-
jinx powers.
Our prognostication powers.
It's a good test. If yours does come to fruition and mine does not, I'm going to blame this rash of penalties on you.
You're new here. You brought this upon us.
No, you just have the power, so you know.
Well, the only psychic powers that I can consistently utilize is making Elton John come on the radio with my mind. It doesn't work with the lottery, just Crocodile Rock.
Is there a specific song?
Crocodile Rock.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Or Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like, and it was always my favorite, and then the scene in Almost Famous when they're on the bus and they sing it together, like it's like solidified it as my favorite Elton John too.
I got to see Elton when he was in town a year or two ago, I think it was, and man, nobody goes hard like old British guys.
Yeah.
My God, everyone up there was so happy.
We're talking musically, by the way. for those
Yeah.
of you who are,
Yes.
out there,
Yes.
taken out of context, while a compliment.
Not appropriate, but yes, their percussion and costume change game.
It's the costumes that would really want, like, that would be the draw for me to see Elton live, which I never have. And I don't think I ever realized when Elton John is performing in town, like throughout my entire life. Mm-hmm. Like, I always find out, oh yeah, you went to an Elton John concert.
On the white chamber, they will not retain.
Update from Thomas the Dank Engine about that penalty call. White will not retain
They will not retain.
on that
Thumbs
high block
down.
call. Thumbs down.
So everything will remain as is, with 2 blockers in the box, 1 per team. I think it was 4-on-4 start with both jammers towing the jam line. Number 93 in white is Devil's Ivy. You should be familiar by now with number 1. black, red, number 1. That is Pink Flamingo.
Up against Devil's Ivy, who is no slouch herself, trying to feed the Rocky Jammer into her wall. And Ivy does some very nice work and is free.
Showing off the no slouch. Picking up lead jammer was Devil's Ivy. And then clobbered to the ground.
By Abena, which is her favorite thing to do.
That block was with prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a good block, you get to stay on the track.
Oh, yep. There goes Daisy. And we got Knuckles up against Sai, 2 very quick jammers.
And they do from a skating standpoint, they're very similar in their approach too. So they share common skill sets and speed.
I wonder if Knuckles was in the Marines like Sai was.
Well, we could do a on-track post-interview. You can ask that question.
That's true. We should do. Oh, and there Sai goes. Gotta love a deadly woman in pigtails. Speaking of which, there's Daisy Danger knocking the Wasatch Jammer down.
That is not that you can't call the track cut.
Ooh, track cut assessed
that
on.
can get an official review because Daisy knocked off the jammer and left the track, jumped on the track, and I don't think the jam ref saw
her foot
leave
slip.
the track.
Yep.
Which picked that cutoff. Now the question is, did the coaching staff see it, and are they
aware of enough to call
an
it?
Official review. This is the fun part about doing extreme call is we can say this stuff and it's okay because they can't hear us, so we're not giving them any advantage to do something.
And some big love for the floor right in front of the announcer's box, bud.
Let the bodies hit the floor, as they say. Oh, we're doing a peek. He's tempted to officially review this. Seems not confident. There's a conversation over here with the OPR, so officials might take care of this on their own. That's unfortunate because I feel like as a announcer and as a fan of the sport, it was clear that the OPR was having a conversation with the jam ref who called the track cut on the jammer. And if they're trying to figure that out, that's a time for an official timeout, in my opinion, to sort that. And the coaching staff is watching them have a conversation, and I'm certain that they think that's the same conversation. And then as time is running out on starting the next jam, they're forced to call an official review. And I wish that the officials in that scenario, if they're having a conversation about that, will just call the official timeout.
Instead of doing what they did?
Instead of making the team call a timeout because they already knew that there was a disagreement from their perspective. Or at least a clarification. Maybe not a disagreement, but some clarification. Hey, you called that because you saw this and this. I had this and this. Let's make sure that was good. And that can be done in an official timeout capacity. And you can see from our vantage point, they were having the conversation anyway. It only seems the appropriate move. So hopefully, next time that happens, that'll work out in that faction.
I'm mostly amazed that you could string all that strategy together with the nonsense going on the track with Abena doing calisthenics on the floor.
I averted my eyes to your eyes.
And
that will keep me focused
some
as
really
opposed to distracted.
Great multitasking.
The madness in front of us.
While it is a strategy-heavy game, it is also like herding cats, and that also is true in the announcer's box.
Yep.
Well, let's see. How have we resolved this?
I don't see a jammer in the box anymore.
I don't either.
And so I believe that they took that penalty away. Now, it didn't affect the outcome of the points scenario because the game's going to still play on. And the advantage that happened from the missed call or even the disadvantage doesn't get quote-unquote made up for, except you don't get tacked with that penalty, which in some games, that's very important. Devil's Ivy is lead jammer.
And Abena heads to the box to sit with one of our friends from Wasatch. Oh, some very nice work from Devil's Ivy, just knocking it past those Rocky blockers. Zoom by you, assuming that star coming around the corner. You have to get that on your head, otherwise you don't get points. You'd never know Zoom came out of retirement this year for this.
Yeah. Nice job swinging around through on that last point. Zoom by you, perfectly zoomed by, and got that 4th point. What was great about that maneuver, what I really liked about it, is setting it up. So trying the inside once, trying the inside twice, and then setting up a 3rd time and spinning around to the outside.
Yep.
As humans, we get rhythmic, and blockers will do this, or jammers will do this all the time, where they will run into a blocker, and they're ramping up their physical attack every time, and the rhythm of that, the blocker is expecting that 3rd time to be their hardest try, and so that is their hardest brace, their least amount of foot movement, and that's when you can put a spin on somebody.
And as a blocker, that's always sad days because you're usually baiting your weight a little bit too far, and that's how you end up on your bum on the track.
Yep. Really trying to ground yourself to not get moved, and you've lost all your mobility, and then...
It's a very delicate line between being very stable and finessing things. Oh, Pink coming on around that corner.
Off the rails jamming now for Wasatch. Pink just gliding through turn 2.
Some nice O by Stitches, the birthday girl. She's going to go up and try and help her jammer, but also has to be mindful of retaining that bridging position.
It was a nice underhook by Knuckles to keep Pink right there for a moment, but just not long enough.
Got a hip bit by Stitches, which was just long enough for Otto to get on up in front and for Rocky to reform that wall.
All right, Pink's going to stretch out the blocker core, get them to peel off and breeze through for the 12th point of the jam.
Let's see if Pink does that hop. Stitch is going to go up and play O again for her friend, which you also have to be mindful of because sometimes making pack is not what is helpful for your jammer.
Yeah, but in this scenario, they've got a completely exhausted pivot, acting as jammer, and just unable to get out of the depth that Rocky Mountain has drugged them into. And
can tell Rails is just giving it their all.
There's just nothing left in the tank. The tank is completely empty. And remember, we talked about this earlier, when they let that jam roll, and Rails was jamming, was just completely emptying that tank, and Rocky Mountain knew that was going to happen, and that's the result, is you get another excellent scoring jam.
Yep.
Because of the work you did 5 jams ago.
You never know how long 2 minutes is until you have to jam through it.
If you ever encounter a lion or a tiger or a bear inside of a cage where it's just you and them, hit your stopwatch and see how long 2 minutes is. You'll be surprised.
Try and hold your breath that long.
It seems like an eternity.
Some nice work by Hannah Smesh-Tana and Slim Skady against Eve Hell. Eve almost making that sneak to the inside.
Lead jammer, sweet cyanide.
Some really excellent waterfalling happening by the Rocky Pack here. And there's one of those odd quiet lulls that happens. Ooh, big hit by 626, I think, against the Rocky Jammer. And Booty Queen giving the Rocky
great
sass.
Response. So, as we were talking earlier, as soon as the star pass happens, so one of the pivot, who is one of the best blockers on that line, Booty looks over at the bench and says, "You're going to run this, right? You're going to make me run this."
Yeah.
And the coaching staff responded, "Absolutely."
Yes, we
and
would love
made
to.
the hand signal to run it, and the jammer thought they said, "Call it," and call it. So.
You got to love when both teams come off the floor laughing, though.
But I like it when something's happening to a team, when a team is utilizing a strategy against another team. Not often, or not always, does the team recognize that's happening to them. Mm-hmm. And so great awareness and understanding of what's happening on this perspective, that if we make a decision to hand that star off, that with this lead, Rocky's going to run us. So do we want to do that? Or do we want to just try to get out and use our jammers the right way?
You know what always feels rude, though, Bud, is when they do a strategy that you were just practicing that week in practice. Like, hey.
No, that was our strategy.
That was our thing. Don't steal our O.
How dare you?
Make me bleed my own blood. Speaking of blood, we are always looking for trained medics and bartenders if you are interested in helping support us this way.
You know what we're not going to do is we're not going to board you with any more reads for this game, for the simple reason that there's not an enormous amount of time left for us to talk about anything, but really we don't have anything else to talk about because our sponsorship read sheet is very low. And you know who can fix that?
Sponsors.
Sponsors. You, the viewer, who know people who want to sponsor an amazing sport like roller derby and an amazing organization like Rocky Mountain Roller Derby, send them our way.
And even if you think you're an unlikely sponsor, we'll still take you.
All you have to have is a logo and some cash.
Correct.
You don't even have to have the logo, but if you want recognition, like most sponsors do. Devil's Ivy's lead jammer, by the way, in case you were wondering what was happening while we were talking about sponsorship.
Devil's Ivy getting stuck behind that rocky wall with Daisy, Oi, and Salts. Fee's got the hat off, but she's coming around to put it back on. Ivy looking at her bench. And her coach is telling her to run it.
Rocky stops right at the apex. Gives some more angles to their jammer. Ivy gets forced off, is going to recycle back around turn 3. Fiona had a 4-wall, but some folks were out of play there. They tried to reorganize. The pack destruction call.
Oh.
Lavender Menace going to go to the box.
But switching it out because here comes Otto. Still 3-on-3, and both the jammers are right behind each other.
We got
a very nice matchup here with Ivy and Fee.
Pack picking up speed, coming into 3.
Here comes Ivy going up against Otto and Oy Vey Maria. Daisy's back there still trying to play O.
Fiona finds space to the outside.
Fee hitting
Quick
the
through
gas.
after a hit from Blip.
Oh, Ivy goes through untouched.
That's going to wrap that jam up.
Pure athleticism.
Yes. It's like 16 to 12 on that jam. 233 to 123. Coming up on 2 minutes. There's a quick update on the scoring, so we might get an official.
Rocky pivot in the box. And Zoom is going to come off for Oy Vey Maria. Sitting there in an angelic glow of light in the penalty box.
Quick adjustment to make sure the scoring was all correct, and it looks like we're good to go.
Pink Flamingo up against Knuckles. And Pink just wrapping around that wall like a tree snake. Nice work by both walls there.
That's a killer tripod by Rocky Mountain.
And here comes Oy Vey Maria.
That is
we got a power jam, bud.
It is a power jam, but without any offensive help, it doesn't feel like Knuckles can get out of this.
I don't think so. We got the Wasatch team trying to goat Batwad there in the back.
See, Wasatch, this is a tough strategy because you've got, when your skater is a magnet to that wall, dropping back and hoping to get out of play just doesn't.
Is a
it's gonna
difficult
take too long.
move.
It's
Yep.
going to take too long. You got to come up and deliver offense in that scenario. Then, if you can chip a person or two off, then stop and let them make their way through.
And we've been seeing a lot of four walls this weekend.
Yeah.
A little bit more utilization of that dangling fourth. Rocky trying to get that wall together, and Knuckles just mashes on through.
Knuckles is so quick.
Scrappy.
When there is a gap, they're going to get through, but just trying to find that space and not helping get that space is where Wasser's got to ramp up the O.
Nice hop by Pink there.
As the game clock winds down into the
14
last
seconds.
clicks that it's going to make. We're going to go full jam. Rocky Mountain standing up. They're ready to celebrate a victory.
Wasatch is down to 3. And just a great
Nothing's gonna do
game.
it. We'll wait for the official
Score.
whistle to give you the official score. But as you can see from those watching at home, Rocky Mountain in control throughout the contest, really turning it around at the end of the first and then through the beginning of the second period. And it was on. They did what they wanted when they wanted. And I think that Wasser's got beat by a little bit of strategy and a lot by talent and even more by penalties. They just fell into a penalty groove when the jerk announcer said it was a clean game.
Which happens.
And they couldn't recover from that. So great effort, great game. What a good time.
There's that
Congratulations to
whistle.
your winners, the Rocky Mountain Roller Derby 5280 Fight Club.
And you all can tune in at 5 o'clock for the next game.
Thank you for joining us today. We got another game coming up in just a little bit. I think 5 o'clock is when our next
5
start is.
o'clock, which will be the Rocky Mountain Contenders and the Pike Peak Slamazons.
That'll be exciting times. You'll hear me again at some point on this magic machine
And you'll see me
doing
on,
things.
hopefully not on the floor, but on the floor.
Wheels on the track.
Wheels on the track.
I'm excited to call games that you're doing stuff in. So
See, that's my friend Morty.
thanks again. Thank you, Derby fans. We'll catch you later. I remain Captain Motorboater.
And I am Mortal Wombat. We will see you later.